How's it going? Just got to get it to work. Come on.
Meeting.
Yeah. Come on. That's why I like to come in a few minutes early and get it all set up.
Yes, yes. Is it? Yeah, it says
live?
it's streaming.
Is it streaming?
Yes, it says on my screen.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Yay.
I love it.
Picnic.
This is so awesome doing it this way. Like, it's just, yeah, it's, but anyway. So welcome everybody. So my name's Darlene from Single Boss Lady, and Saturday afternoons, every second Saturday afternoons, I get to have casual chats with business women. So this is the second one, and I'm talking to the lovely Marion Metz. Now, she's absolutely amazing. I love her dearly. She's a copywriter and editor, and she focuses mainly on e-courses. So we're going to have a chat. Who knows? Could go for half an hour, could go for an hour, 2 hours. Who knows? So I'm going to keep an eye on my phone. So if you've got any comments or questions or anything, just chuck them on the Facebook Live. Because as you can see, we're doing this through Zoom. It's just easier for me, but I'll keep a chat on the phone. It will be a couple of minutes slow, so just be aware of that. So I'll just bring up the live.
Oh, so when people comment, that
they may
takes
do,
a little.
Yeah, they may do. So yeah, so that's why I've got my phone going. So yeah, and so I've actually got Marion's details in the comments. Her Facebook page and also her website is in the description. I've also got a link to my webinar, which I'll talk about at the end. So welcome, Marion. So this is so much fun. I love this.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I love it. So tell me a little bit about yourself, personally.
Personally, okay, yeah. I'm Marion. I'm living in New Zealand at the very bottom, where it's cold. And I love gardening. And yeah, that's fresh in my mind because today was a beautiful day. And so I was out in the garden planting some grasses, which I bought yesterday, and weeding a little bit, and yeah, having the kids of the neighborhood visiting.
Nice.
So yeah, my kid was sleeping.
Oh, not concerned.
No, she doesn't mind. So yeah, that's what else? I make jewelry.
Yeah, I was going to say you make amazing jewelry.
yes, but when I have time, obviously. So at the moment, I'm hardly doing anything. But yeah, when I do have time, I make jewelry. And what else? I love my cat.
A good sense of humour too. For those that don't know, Marion was picking on me before we started this live.
Well, that's what you do.
It is, isn't it? It's awesome. I love it. So yeah, just to let anyone know, if they jump on live, if you've got any comments or questions for Marion, just chuck them in the thing. So I've got my phone going, so I'll just keep an eye on that. So yeah, tell us about your business, Marion, because I think it's fascinating.
Yes. Okay, so where do I start? I immigrated to New Zealand 15 years ago, and I'm coming from Germany. So, and since basically since I have arrived in New Zealand, I always did proofreading and editing just because the job needed it. And yeah, so I've done that all the 15 years basically. And last year I finished with a diploma in copy editing and proofreading, and I graduated with excellence.
Nice. Well done. Congratulations.
I am proud of that.
Yeah.
And so that's when I thought, okay, I want to do it full time. I want to be self-employed and I want to do it full time, and I just love it. I just love editing.
Yeah. I think it's absolutely awesome. Like I just like it's something I've always had pretty good command of English language because I've loved it and I've read lots of books. But I just love the fact that you can just look at something and just go, how about this? How about that? That you can actually do that. It's really awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's something I love, and
Mm,
I don't know how it came.
mm,
Honestly, it
yeah.
just came. I always loved English. I loved French. I learned French and was quite good at
Oh,
speaking French.
yep.
But that's a long time ago. And I learned Japanese, and I could speak
Mm,
and understand Japanese as well. And it's lost.
mm. Wow, that's pretty.
So I love languages,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yep.
that's yeah. And English is just so easy to learn. I'm
Mm.
probably the only one who says that.
Oh, cool. So we've got Roberta. Beautiful. Hello, Roberta. Got a couple of people watching. Awesome.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you've actually niched, and for those people that don't know niche, it's actually a sort of a group of people that you really want to work with. So tell me about your niche.
Yeah. So that's courses or e-courses. So people who create online courses. I think about maybe going to the Polytech here as well, and talk to them to get courses done. But
Mm,
at the moment, it is really the online courses,
yeah.
e-courses, and basically, if people have created one, then I'll have a look at it
Mm,
and make sure it flows, make sure obviously grammar, spelling,
yeah.
etc. is right, but also the flow and a little bit depending on what the creator does,
Mm,
if they need some visual improvement as well. So,
yeah.
yeah, like
Mm,
design
yeah.
thingies. I think I have a good eye for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and yeah.
Mhm, yeah. So it really fascinates me. What do you mean by actually flow of the e-course?
Well, that the course, the different modules, say call it modules now,
Yep.
because everybody calls it differently, but I call it modules. They need to flow into each other. One needs to build upon the previous one, and the language should be kind of consistent, not in one module strictly technical and then in the next module flowery and airy
Mm,
and so on. So it needs to flow a little bit. I mean, a
yep.
mixture basically.
Mm.
And yeah, so yeah.
Oh, that's interesting because I didn't think of flow as one module flowing on to the next. That's really cool.
Well, and obviously the
Oh,
language as well,
yeah.
that you don't have 20 short sentences.
Mm.
If you can combine sentences to make them easier to read,
Ah,
or the other way, if there is
mm.
one sentences which
Yeah.
is in a whole paragraph, then you shorten it again so it flows a little bit. It's just
Oh,
that flow.
mm. Wow. This is really cool. These I love
It's
talking to
it's
you.
it's sometimes hard for me to describe these
Mm.
things because I
Yeah.
do them automatically,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Mm.
I find okay.
So what made you think about e-courses in particular?
Um, I feel I can be involved in helping people. I mean, it all obviously depends on what the course is about, but
Mm,
courses usually are there for helping people,
mm,
whatever the subject,
yep.
but for helping people. And
Mm,
if I can be involved in helping those people who take the course,
mhm.
then my job's done on this earth.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because I've done a lot of courses over my time. So I've had a nursing career as well as done other courses.
Mm,
And yeah, man, if it doesn't look right or sound right or anything, you're just like, what? It
yeah.
doesn't look professional.
Yeah, and yeah, you're saying that that's another thing. When I mean, you usually pay for a course,
Mm,
so you don't want to be kind of distracted by oh that's
yeah,
wrong. I mean, hello,
yeah,
you pay for it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I mean, if you're paying for a course, then that person should have paid for someone to actually look at it and just make sure it all looks good.
I yeah,
Yeah,
I think so anyway, obviously, but
yeah.
yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I can't talk for everybody, obviously, but whenever I talk to people about grammar and spelling mistakes, everybody, without exception, everybody always, oh yeah, did you read the newspaper? Oh gosh, they are so bad at spelling. Or oh, have you read that? And it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, and some people don't care, and some do care, and I care.
Yeah, so do I, because I actually grew up in the era where it did actually matter, and you know it does matter to have things look professional. And
Yes.
I'm in the field of where I teach mindset and business strategy, so I want to look professional.
Yes.
Even though
yes.
beautiful Marion pointed out one of my posts had a couple of errors on it. And I was so adamant that I was going to get it correct too. Oh, but I loved it. I thought it was just, and I went back, and I'm going to have to get you because I could only find one mistake. I love it. It's so good.
Oops.
No, it's great because
That's my life. That's
Yeah,
my
well,
life. I
yeah.
see it and I tell people, and then
But I do, because I do want my things to look professional and to and to flow beautifully as well.
yeah.
So it's cool. But it was funny because I went back and I'm like, I can only see one mistake. So I'll have to go
But
back.
after I pointed it out, did you see the two?
Yeah, I actually went back and I could still only see
Good.
one mistake, not two.
Ah,
Oh, that was so funny.
well, that's why I'm getting paid to find mistakes.
Exactly, and that's the awesome thing about it, is the fact that I went back and I could only find one mistake. That's why it's so important to have someone else look at your work.
Yeah.
Because they will find all of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's it, and that is something I did just recently read about. Who was it? It was another editor in a forum, in an editor forum. I'm a member of a few forums and clubs or whatever you call them, and they said something about you can't even the best copy editor or the best proofreader can't find 100% of the mistakes. So if you find 90%, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, I want to be 100%, obviously, but it's because at some stage you have to have a break.
Yes.
You have to you just can't see it anymore, and that's what I try to teach when I talk to my authors, to tell them as well, just have a break, just go away for a little while and come with fresh eyes, and you see more than in the first run, basically. So yeah.
One thing I was actually taught, I don't know how well it works, is to actually read it backwards. So you actually read it backwards.
I heard that. I can't grasp that, maybe because English is my second language, but I don't know. I've not really tried it, but I heard about it. Yes.
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times and I have found some errors, which is good.
So you read backwards, but the words still forward. So,
no, so
Marion is stupid.
No,
like Marion is
everything backwards.
Sorry.
So you actually read everything backwards. So you're looking at the letters and everything to help see if the word actually sort of makes sense.
So coming back to my sentence, Marion is stupid. You would then not read stupid as Marion, but that kind of thing. Yeah,
so you do a bit of both. So you actually read the sentence backwards, but then you actually then read the letters as they are actually written backwards.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would take ages.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, okay. Yeah. I mean, I did it in German, obviously, years and years ago, because it was fun.
Yeah.
But okay. Okay, well, I'll tackle that. just to practice, because I heard it before. You're not the first one saying that, so there must be something.
Yeah, I've only done it a couple of times, but only on short things. I wouldn't want to do like a whole e-course or anything.
No, to be honest, no. Reading loud helps as well.
Yeah, because you can actually hear it and you go, what? That don't make sense.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I do that with especially my promo posts, and that's like, because for those that are watching, we're both in a group called the Heart Centered Soul Driven Entrepreneur Group, and there's actually a silent auction going on, so you could actually put up an item, and so I've got it in there, a month of power chakra sessions, and so I actually really clearly made sure that it was it sounded pretty good before I put it up there. But if people are watching, reading this, and I want them to understand what I'm actually talking about.
Yeah, and I think sometimes there is it's quite hard because it was limited to 50 words as well, and it is quite hard sometimes to put something out short, but not too short.
Yeah.
But obviously not too long, and straight to the point, but not harsh.
Yes.
It is an art form, I believe.
It definitely is. And for me now, now that I'm really focusing on my power chakras, when I actually write things, it doesn't sound harsh anymore, because I'm coming from a loving, compassionate, caring actual energy.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So if I'm going to do anything at all, I actually make sure I get myself centered, focus on my power chakras, then write. And it's amazing how you can just literally write so much stuff from that energy.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Maybe I should do the course with you and get my power chakra sorted. And I mean,
but have you noticed that since you did that beautiful session with me, that you're getting seen more?
Yes. You
got, like, how many bids? I think you've got about 4 or 5 bids on your item now.
Yeah, I do. Yes, and it's amazing. I just it is, and I'm not sure how it came. I feel so much love in me, love for the author, for whoever it is, really. If it's I just feel not the teacher, you made a mistake, but the loving, hey, let's change that, or let's make that better or flowing, or whatever the case may be. And that is relatively new. I mean, that love, that compassion, or love, basically. It's relatively new.
Yeah, cool. That is awesome. Because I mean, it actually, when you come from that space, your potential clients can actually feel that, and that's what it's all about. So being seen on social media is about your energy. It's about your energy first and foremost, before anything else. So you could post 5 times a day, but if it's coming from a crap energy, people are not going to see your posts. I've proven it. Like, I've actually sort of tested it a little bit, where I actually focus on my power chakras, write posts from there, compared to when I actually went, no, I'm just going to do something because I feel like it. So I tested it, and it does make a huge difference.
Wow. Yeah. So I couldn't post 5 times a day.
No, I'm not anymore either, because it's not who I want to be, and I don't want my beautiful audience to have to be on my page all the time. That's not coming from a loving place.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
some days I might, especially if I find something funny or inspirational or something.
I just wanted to say, sometimes.
That's on my personal timeline, but even on my page sometimes. But most of the time it's only 2 or 3. It just
okay. I usually post once a day on my page, and when I see something funny or whatever it is, and it is editing related, because my weird sense of humor is for that, then I post it as well, but usually just once a day. It's just people don't have that much time. I mean, if they want to write, they shall write and not read posts.
Yes, exactly. And that's what it's about. It's about doing what's really important to you, like our audience. It's important that they do what's really, right for them, and not spend hours on frigging Facebook or anything like that. Like, it's great. You know, Facebook's fantastic. I love it.
I love it too.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not, we shouldn't be on there all the time. So that's why our post should be, you know, funny or uplifting or value and that kind of stuff. That's what's important. And that's why I started this casual conversation too.
Yeah, and I think it is a good idea, or good a bit different maybe from others, where you focus on one thing only for the whole live call.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we could talk about swimming, about gardening.
Why not?
About salmon.
Yes. For those that don't know, I've been swimming in the ocean for the last 3 days because I'm actually a surf lifesaver, so I need to make sure that I can swim in the ocean. So I've been doing that, and it's been cold.
Yeah,
I've got salmon in the oven cooking ready for.
Yes, and you told me earlier about the swimming, and I was thinking, because I think I did mention it, I'm in the very south of New Zealand, and I mean, it was cold. It was probably 13 degrees today, very nice and sunny, so beautiful for gardening work. But when I heard you swimming, too cold. Definitely here.
Yeah, I think it was about it would have been about probably 18 or 20 degrees.
Yeah,
or maybe a little bit less when the outside temperature, and the water, because they were fairly even, so it was actually warmer than I expected.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it quite a shallow part as well, or is it straight open?
So it's open, so I actually straight onto the ocean, but you know, it's a little bit gradual as well.
Yeah, okay, because we have nice, even though it is cold, but we have some nice shallow bays.
Oh yeah, no.
And that means you can go in actually, if it is cold. And another part where I did go swimming, but only with a wetsuit, that's straight open, and that's just too cold.
Yeah, no, it's straight open onto the ocean.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's where the life service.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I love it.
Yes. Good.
Back to you, because you're important. So tell me about visibility for you. What does visibility or being seen on social media actually mean to you?
It's a hard one, I would say. I'm an introvert, and I want to focus on the background, and I do the work in the background, and everybody else does their marketing there. But obviously it doesn't work this way. So I guess visibility for me would be to be seen, and not only from my editing, from the technical things, although I have to say I focused on that all the last year or two, basically just on the technical side of it. And I'm slowly getting there to that people get to know me like alive.
And that's why I wanted to do it this way, so it's a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no problem talking live on social media, but I don't really want to draw attention to myself so much, but I know I have to do that kind of thing for business purposes, and maybe someone sees me and likes me and trusts that even though I am from Germany, I can still do good editing.
Well, I can tell you point up. So if anybody's watching, Marion is really good. Like, I can say that point blank. I'm not, saying it just because I'm saying it for real. Like, Marion is good. So if anyone's got any e-courses that they're thinking of putting out there, or they've actually already got out there and just want reviewed, check out Marion. I've got her details in the description, so don't hesitate to check out Marion. Go for it. Yeah,
I'm there. Yes. And it doesn't matter where in the world you are. My last e-course, the lady was in America, so that's doesn't matter where. It's just, you just need to know it, because there's the American English and the British English and the Canadian English and the New Zealand and the Australian, and all have different rules and regulations and styles and what have you.
Well, talking about that, I actually seen something in a group today. I won't say which group, but the person had put a word into little
speech marks.
Yeah, thank you.
Quotation marks.
Yeah, thank you.
I call them speech marks, but they are quotation marks.
I couldn't think of the word. But someone got up this lady for doing that, because in wherever they were from, it was actually derogatory or something like that. And I'm like, what?
Oh.
So isn't that interesting?
But yeah, that can happen, and that is something I read, because I'm reading. It's not really a blog post, but every day about something, grammar, spelling, punctuation. That, I mean, it is me after all. And in one of the posts, the person said, just be aware about different cultures. What in one culture is the word you use, for instance, or in speech marks or quotation marks. One word you use in your culture is perfectly normal. If that is used in a different culture, it can be offensive. And that is something you just need to be aware of that. And if the writer is not aware, then the editor needs to be aware of it.
I come from the place that when I write from love. So all my words flow with love. So if I write something and it offends someone, I've just got to be of the belief that unfortunately it's brought something up in them that they need to look at, because I do come from a place of love. Whenever I write anything, I always come from a place of love.
I see what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but I mean, in the world of social media, where really everybody sees everything, yes, you can't please everybody. So yes, okay, when you come from a place of love, then hopefully it shines through even to that person who does misunderstand what you were saying. But it can still be offensive to them, and not because they are mean, but because it's their belief, it's their culture, and
and that's why I'm really focusing on the power chakras, so that I do write the right words, and I don't write something that will offend someone. Coming from that place, and the words when they come out, they are the type of words that won't offend anyone.
And I mean, that's the best you can do in the end. As I said, you can't please everybody, and just the way it is.
Hello, Sandra. So we've got a couple of people watching us. Yay.
Okay.
So just to let people know that because this is via Zoom onto Facebook, it's a couple of minutes behind. So if you've got any comments or anything, let us know, because I'm having fun chatting to Marion. This is awesome. We've been going for nearly half an hour. I told you.
Oh, okay. Yay. And I was hoping for 5 minutes. No, it's all good.
So can I ask you a question about the power chakra session, because you've actually had one? How did you actually find that?
It brought up some powerful things. I don't know a lot about chakras, I have to admit, and I think I told you when we had our session as well. I learned a lot in the past, and I found it fascinating, but I don't know anything. So when we talked, it was surprising. Yes, I still had my brain on and still was thinking, even though you asked me to not think, but I still was. But apart from that, I felt that I was watching me while answering your questions. Yes, my brain was on, but I was outside a little bit as well. I'm not sure if that's the right word, and I found it fascinating what insights there were, and I think you can remember I shed a few tears. I mean, that's when it's getting personal sometimes. It's just what happens. And I have watched the recording, and I will watch it again, because sometimes you don't get everything first or second or third time. Sometimes you have to watch it a few times. And I found it interesting. Probably if I knew more about chakras, it would have had a bigger impact, but it had a big impact anyway. So it was great. So yes, I can recommend that, and that was not planned, but I can recommend. Honestly, it's something. Yes.
Yeah, cool. And it's interesting because I actually prefer people not to really know a lot about chakras, because as you discovered, things are actually changing because we're working on ourselves so much. Our vibrations are getting higher, which means all the stuff we've learned about chakras is great, but it may not match what actually is in our body. So, you know, like I'm talking about the heart chakra this week. So a lot of people say that's green or pink color. And for a lot of people, it's not. It's actually a totally different color.
Yeah.
And also when I say, okay, what words come up when you're in that chakra can be totally different to what's actually people say it's meant to be.
Yeah.
So it's really like, and that's why, you know, I say, okay, let's just allow your intuition to come through, you know, what colors and all the words and everything.
Yeah. And I believe, and it probably has something to do with that, we raise the vibration of the planet. We do raise, and that means, and I have so many examples for that, but anyway, a few years ago I started with that, believing these kind of things. I mean, woo woo. A friend of mine says woo woo all the time. So that kind of thing, just a word. And it was amazing. And when I think or watch or look at myself now, it is so different. It is so different. And I'm not saying I'm enlightened or anything, but my vibration has changed. My being has changed. My viewpoint of the world has changed. My love, as I said earlier on, my love is just different. And it's good that you know about that and don't persist on the colors and on these rules. I mean, I don't know if there are rules, but I mean, you know, when there's chakras, there's all these colors and bottom to top and all that. That's the normal stuff out there, but it is different for everybody, because everybody is different, the same but different. I mean,
Exactly.
Oh gosh, don't get me going.
But that's why I love what I do, because it's so powerful. And when people actually go into their chakras and find out what is actually happening, you know, it really is powerful. And every time I do a session, I mean, it affects me as well. Like, I'm just so, you know, it's just like, whoa.
Wow. Yes, I can imagine that. Yes. Yes,
I absolutely love it. Now, I've been noticing your necklace. Did you actually make that?
No.
Oh, that's really nice.
No, I found the chain in a second-hand shop, and I found the heart at a craft market, and I just put them together.
Oh, nice.
It's my favorite, that rainbow. No, not rainbow. Rainbow. Well, this is glass, but there is a niobium, rainbow niobium, and all these metals. That's what I do with my chainmail jewelry. I use that quite a bit because it's really hard, and the colors are just beautiful.
Oh, that's a question. What's your have you got a Facebook page for all your jewelry and everything as well?
I do, which is not very up to date. I mean, every month maybe I post something in there. So,
cool.
but there are a few. Sorry?
What's it called?
Marion Metz Design Studio, I think.
Cool. So I'm going to put that in. I'm going to find that and put that in description as well, because I want people to notice. Because Marion knits using wire, so she makes this beautiful jewelry, and it's just incredible. Like I've never known of anyone to actually knit with wire. Like, awesome. I just love it.
Well, crocheting is something,
Yeah.
at least down here in Southland, and when I lived in Queenstown, there was a lady because in Queenstown is that beautiful art market every Saturday, and I was there with my wares, and there was another lady, and she crocheted with wire.
Wow.
Beautiful, completely different feel for it, but gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
That's just awesome. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. But as I said, I just don't maintain it as much as I should. And I mean, there's my photographer. I'm a photographer as well, and
Wow.
so there is a lot of photography items on my Facebook page, and yeah. So,
Oh well, I'm definitely going to find the link for your page and put it in the description as well.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. That's quite a lot.
It's just you. My friend said the other day to me, "It's you are so lucky that you are so creative," and I take it for granted.
You can do, because that's like me with my paintings. Like, it's just something I discovered, and it's just so natural for me just to create something.
Yes.
And you're like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
Yeah.
And we were at a shop, and there was something, I can't remember what it was, beautiful thing. I said, wow, that's gorgeous. And my friend said, well, you can do that. I said, yes, I could. Yes, I could. That's it. Because we are creative, we can.
Yeah, and that's the thing, creative can be anything. Like, it can literally be how you actually write a post. That can be creative.
Yes.
So the technical term for creative should be thrown out the window, because it's not, the artists and all that kind of stuff. Yes, that's creative, but anything can be creative.
Exactly. Cooking. Cooking is creative. I mean, hello.
I know, look at me putting salmon with the herbs and the soy sauce and everything.
For instance, yeah. I mean, and I love cooking, and I quite often have a recipe and I look at it and say, nah, and just take the basics from that and do my bit and create something.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I want people to understand, is that creative, don't think of it as what you normally think of it. Anything that you do is creative.
Yes.
I mean, how you clean the house can be creative.
Yes.
Can
miss that spot, miss that spot. Oops. Yeah.
I'm glad you're not looking at my place.
Oh gosh, no. No. Housework whenever, gardening forever. I have a little plug from my friend.
I love it. Yeah, I'm an absolute brown thumb. Nothing, no matter what, no matter how hardy it is, it looks at me and goes, yeah, no, I'm dying.
Oh.
Everything. Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Right. That's just something I know that I can't do plants. Yeah. And it's amazing, because I come from a family where my great-grandmother won awards for her garden. She was that good. She won awards. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it a flower garden or veggie garden? Probably flower.
Yeah, flowers. Yeah. Yeah. She was amazing. And then my mum, like, amazing gardener. We grew up on, I think it was like half-acre block. So you had the house on the front part of it, and then on the back you had like all garden, chooks, everything. It was just like,
wow. Wow.
Yeah. But growing up in Tasmania, we had that really rich red soil. So it grew a lot of stuff.
Wow.
And then, of course, the chooks kept all the weeds and everything down as well, because Mum would let them out for a couple of hours every day, and they'd go in and have fun.
Yes. Oh gosh, yeah, they'd would need to come into my garden. I have loads of chickweed. I don't know if chicken eat chickweed and that's why it's called chickweed. Don't know, but I was thinking about that quite often.
Maybe you need to get some chooks and see.
Yeah, well, yeah, would be nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm an absolute brown thumb, so it's like
Wow.
that's something I can't do, but that's fine, you know.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I'm not home enough anyway to look after the poor little things.
Okay.
You know, between working on my business and volunteering and being social, I'm not
Okay.
home.
Yeah, okay. And I'm more the home
Mm.
person and yeah, yeah, I love my garden and I mainly grow veggies, but I have a few flowers now as well.
Yes. But homegrown veggies and fruit is just, oh, I miss it. I really do. Like,
Yes.
you know, we used to get a strawberry, you'd bite into it and the juice would
Yeah.
run down because it was a proper strawberry.
Yes, exactly. My strawberries are not that big. I've 2 years ago I started and they are not there yet. They haven't acclimatized to my care yet because I'm very rough with my thing and I'm organic, so no chemicals whatsoever, and so a lot of things die, to be honest, because the soil just doesn't give the goodness, etc. But yeah, pears, I have heaps. I have bumper crops of pears every year.
Oh, that's it. I'm going to come and visit you.
Yes, come. Because sometimes, some years, I just don't know what to do with them. I still have a pear relish from 2 years ago.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
Okay, stop now.
Cool. So if we can leave the beautiful audience with one thing that you would love them to take away about what you do, what would you say to them?
So say that again. What?
So if you could give our audience one takeaway about what you do, what would it be?
Of what I'm doing.
Yeah, like a quote or something.
Sorry, but what?
Like a quote or something like that, or
That's unfair. I make your words shine.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I love it. So there you go. So beautiful Marion, who's an amazing copywriter editor. She makes your words shine, and that's what you want in your beautiful e-courses. You do want them to shine because you want people reading it to just feel that
and learn and enjoy.
Yep. Beautiful. Oh, Kristen Kershaw's come on. Hello, Kristen.
Oh, is she? Yeah, she's in the Heart Centre. Yes. Okay.
I've known Christine for a while. She's lovely.
Is she in Australia probably as well?
In Queensland, I get to see her normally once a month because I go up to Brisbane for the meetup.
Oh, you lucky one.
Yeah.
You lucky one.
Here we go. Hang on. Dan, hello. I'm here, but it's not working properly. Oh, okay.
The person doesn't hear us.
Christine was saying that it's not displaying properly.
Okay.
See what's going on. That's all right.
Oh, you're shiny now. Your screen.
Yeah, no, maybe not. That's all right. Not displaying properly. Oh no, I can. No, I'm still on there. That's cool. All
right. Okay. Oh, you're shiny now. It comes late. Yes. Okay.
Oh no, I can hear myself. Hang on, let me turn that down somehow. Oh, that's better. But it seems to be working, so that's all right.
Okay.
Oh, you love it, don't you? Cool. So so Marion, beautiful Marion. So I've got her Facebook page and a website in the description, and so I talk about your beautiful power chakra. So I've actually got a webinar coming up on October 9th at 10:30. So I've also got the link to my webinar in that. So I really hope that you you know, whoever's watching can come up live. If not, of course, it will be recorded and you get the recording. So I'm going to be talking about chakras and about your power chakras and how important they are in business. Like, it is, since I've really been working on them, my business is just, you know, it's taking off and it's just amazing. So yeah, Marion, thank you so much. You know, we're being up for 45 minutes.
Okay, we are wasting people's time.
No. No, it's awesome.
Okay. Thank you very much for that opportunity to have myself.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. I love it. So yeah, so I do this every second Saturday now. So yeah, awesome. So yeah, thank you again.
Thank you.
And absolutely wonderful. So I'll see you soon.
See ya. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.